When you're involved in a serious accident, a quick response by a trauma team can certainly determine whether you live or you die. The second you arrive at the hospital, the billing begins. And as Contact 5 investigator Dan Krause shows us tonight, where you live will likely determine how much you'll have to pay.
We were going out for my best friend's wife's 50th birthday party. We decided to rent a limousine.
Eric Lienhardt's life changed forever at this Treasure Coast intersection.
We have a Lincoln limo versus a possible Jeep.
When the limo driver ran a red light.
I remember the crunch of the metal, and that's really all I could remember.
Lienhardt suffered head injuries, multiple cuts, and broken bones. He was rushed by helicopter to the nearest trauma center.
We do have a trauma alert, and one patient is going to be sent down to Longwood.
Longwood Medical Center in Fort Pierce, a level 2 trauma center, billed Lienhardt nearly $33,000 the second he arrived, an admission charge officially called a trauma response fee. For more than a decade, trauma centers have been allowed to charge the fee to recoup their costs. But the Tampa Scripps station partnered with the Tampa Bay Times and discovered those fees have ballooned and range from $1,100 to $33,000. The Times reviewed more than 10 million patient bills from Florida's 26 trauma centers, which showed that since 2006, more than 120,000 people have been charged these fees, adding up to $500 million.
Sometimes they just see you as a dollar sign.
Records indicate Lienhardt was only at this hospital for a matter of minutes before doctors determined his injuries were so severe he had to be transferred to a different trauma center more than 100 miles away. Lienhardt, who had no insurance, was billed almost $44,000, $1,000 a minute, for his brief stay. He was then flown over 6 other trauma centers in 3 different service areas. Those included 3 level 1 trauma centers, the highest designation in the state.
I coded a couple times coming into Miami.
His final destination was Kendall Regional Medical Center in Miami, another level 2 center owned by Hospital Corporation of America, or HCA. HCA also operates Longwood Regional Medical Center and currently has a preferred partner agreement with the air ambulance company that transported Lienhardt.
I think it's more of a business issue than it is an actual saving life issue.
He had no choice in where he was taken. He didn't have the opportunity to kind of shop around.
Lienhardt's attorney, Eric Romano, says the Longwood bill baffles him.
What are the trauma fees for? What do you get for that money?
We can handle 2 pediatric traumas at once.
Dr. Mark Valor of St. Joseph's Hospital in Tampa says the fees fund things like specialized equipment, advanced training, and on-call pay.
The trauma activation fee is designed to help you respond within that golden hour for the severely injured patients. So I think that a reasonable fee is certainly justified in those circumstances.
At St. Joseph's, that fee is $1,244, the second lowest in Florida. In recent years, the statewide average trauma fee has grown to $10,000.
What has caught people's attention now is some of the trauma activation fees that are 3 and 4 and 10 and 20 times higher than some of the activation fees that have been traditionally charged.
Pat Palmer of Virginia is a nationally known patient billing advocate.
We're seeing those type of charges nationwide.
And Palmer says the fees are often unjustified.
We're seeing in the investigation we're doing into a number of them that none of the documentation supports the charge for an entire trauma team.
Billing information reviewed by the Times reveals since 2010, at least 7,000 patients who spent less than 24 hours at the hospital were charged the fee. Among them, a Palm Beach County teen who had minor burns was charged a $12,500 trauma fee. A Pasco County woman with superficial cuts was charged a $33,000 fee. And a 7-year-old boy in Broward County who hit his head playing sports was charged nearly $5,000.
Somebody is paying for that, so the cost of care certainly goes up.
Eric Lienhardt spent 24 days in the hospital and is still recovering.
Right now, my bills are probably somewhere a little over the excess of $1 million.
The whole situation has shown him how a trauma can impact anyone in the blink of an eye.
I didn't do anything wrong to deserve those bills or the situation I'm in, and it's going to affect me for the rest of my life.
Dan Krause, WPTV, News Channel 5.